want to pay a little bit of a tribute to one of our, oh there he is, there's Holly. We'll pay a tribute to Holly, we always do, with the title, name of the show, Hollywood. He was great, he's a patron from the other world now. But every October, we have a Remembering Holly show. And so we book a great show and we have a little chat about him and a few anecdotes come out. But today I want to introduce you to somebody who, well, needs no introduction to you because he's a great favourite of this show and has been since the days of Holly. And he's, well, you know, we're going to have a little chat and we're going to find out a little bit about him. And he's been in the entertainment business longer than he can remember, and he's done some incredible things. So would you please welcome the marvellous, the wonderful Eddie Storm OAM. There he is. Come on, Eddie. Take a seat. Just have a seat. We're gonna, now, Eddie Storm, this is your life. So, welcome along.
I just discovered a couple of very dear friends of mine from the show.
Who's that?
They do a show. Chris and Gail.
Chris and Gail, I've just been talking to them.
They're wonderful entertainers.
Yes, sir.
You've got to have them here. Yeah.
I will indeed.
Got to have them.
We've already, okay, spruiking aside, let's talk about you. So, as a 7-year-old boy in south of England, you experienced the Second World War in a very, very personal way. Can you tell us a little bit about that story?
Well, I was 7 years old when war broke out, 1939, and I was 8 years old when the German bombers came over to bomb Devonport Dockyard. This is in England, of course, and the Devonport Dockyard with all the shipping. And they missed the dockyard and wiped my city of Plymouth in Devonshire. That's why I hope we doing by a lorry. Wiped it off the map. And we were unfortunate to be living in a 2-story building with a couple up above when we had a mine or something hit the building. It came down like a pack of cards. We were, thankfully, thank the Lord, we were under the bed with my mum, with my brother and myself, the 3 of us under the big old, do you remember the old double beds with the steel rods going up? So we were underneath of that, praying, of course, and the building came down and the beams made a tent. And a couple upstairs were killed. And we survived. And we were buried. We couldn't get out. But they dug us out the next morning. So we were...
Do you believe in guardian angels?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So your whole family survived?
Yes, my father was in the army. So, yes.
Well, that was a bit of a rude awakening to the horrors of war, wasn't it?
I'll say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you come from a musical family?
Yes, my granny sang. My mum sang all Vera Lynn songs. You remember Vera Lynn?
Of course I do.
So she sang all the Vera Lynn songs, and my mother was singing under the bed. We were praying.
She was singing under the bed.
I know, it sounds funny. She was singing Vera Lynn.
Is that an ode to spring?
Yeah, I think it was to stop us from screaming. So.
Yeah, music wasn't really a thing after while the war was on, and I mean, what were the entertainers that you ever knew, like as a child growing up? You know, was there anything that spurred you into thinking that maybe I could do that?
Well, as a matter of fact, the first time I ever sang, I sang it as a child because I, during the war, the Americans came over and played the piano on the street, and I stood on a chair and sang to the crowd around. It was just after the war, and we were all celebrating. And my granny used to bring me up to the local pub and stand me on the chair and say, "If you sing a song, I'll give you a packet of Smith's Crisps, you know, with a blue packet,
And half a woodbine.
packet of crisps and a sip of my beer." So I sang the heart out, didn't I? You know.
Okay, so you did sing from an early age.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we'll have to wind forward a fair bit because I know that you joined the army and you realised that you could sing. Was that the first time you sang in public?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And with a very large audience of just over 1,000 recruits, young men. They were all about my age, 18 to 20 years old. And I sang a song that I had learned 2 years prior. I never forgot the words. And to this day, the words are still in my head. And I sang to all of these young guys. It was an old country song, and nobody's ever heard of it. So would you like me to sing it? Yeah. Something like this. I was riding alone on a freight train, bound for nobody knows where, 'cause I left home quite early one morning, and my heart is heavy with care, for I quarreled with my poor old father over some wrong that I'd done. He called me a drunkard, a gambler, not fit to be called his son. I cursed and I swore at my father. I told him his words were a lie. I packed up my clothes in a bundle and went to kiss mother goodbye. Now my poor mother broke down with sobbing. She said, "Oh my son, do not leave. Your poor mother's heart will be broken, as all through the long years she'll grieve. I know she'll be there at the window, day after day as I roam, watching and waiting and praying for the boy who will never come home. So my boys, take a wanderer's warning. Don't break your poor mother's heart. Stay by her side, 'cause she needs you. And don't ever drift apart."
So you've known that song for 80 odd years.
I did, yeah, I'm still singing it.
That must have been a very emotional song for
Well,
young
can you
soldiers.
imagine 1,000 young guys that just left home, and a lot of them were thinking about mother, I can tell you that. Yeah.
And so, look, I'm winding forward a long way now, but just staying on that same, why did you want to go to Vietnam to entertain the troops? Is there a little kind of link to you singing that song to the soldiers?
Not really. I first of all, it was an honour to.
Sure, yeah.
We had to sing to the mums and dads to pass the test before we could go out there. We had to sing to the parents, brothers, sisters in a hall like this. And
did they choose who went?
yes, they did.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like an audition.
It was an audition, and the band and I got through, and the guy who was the owner of the nightclub where we worked, he was one of the best comedians in Perth, and he failed. So he said, "What?" He said, "They're telling me that they got enough blue jokes over there. They don't need any more." So I said, "Oh, okay." So he said, "Look, you tell them I don't go, you don't go." So we looked at the band, we talked about it, said, we want to go, we want to go. So we said, "I'm sorry, we want to go." He said, "If you go, you'll never work the Florida nightclb again." We went, and we didn't work in the Florida again.
Good on you. Yeah. So what sort of situations were you singing in, and how did you feel?
It changed my life. I was shy. I'm still to this day nervous with an audience before the show. And
I noticed that this morning. Yeah.
doing Hail Marys and stuff like that. And well, you never know when you hit that. The worst nightmare is when you hit a bum note. That's my worst nightmare. So, but it really changed my life.
In what way?
Well, as I said, I was a shy band singer. I was singing with a band for 16 years.
You couldn't have been that shy if you were singing with a band at the front.
In a band.
You were supported by the band.
Yeah, you're part of the. You're hidden away. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You don't. You just stand up and you got the band all around you. And that's it. The first time I turned professional was a guy called. Do you remember Max Kay? Anybody remember?
Oh yes.
Max Kay was my mentor. I met him in a nightclub over 55 years ago. I was singing in a band, and he knew the owner of the club. He did a show there, and he told the owner of the club, "Who's this guy?" And he said, "Oh, Eddie Storm. He's just come out from England." And Max said, "Bring him down on the floor. He's too good to be up there singing in the band." And I came down on the floor, and although I was nervous, I never looked back. Max Kay took me to different places, different shows. We sang in different places together, and it was wonderful to work with a professional entertainer.
Who remembers the Civic Theatre? Yeah, look at that. Half the room.
So, yeah, I sang there a couple of times when he went to England. I used to.
Yeah. And you and I have got something in common, which I found out recently. That you were sort of.
We've had a heart attack.
You were. no, not yet.
I have.
Apart from OAMs and things like that. But you were headhunted by a group of hotels called the Commodore Hotels.
That's right.
Is that right?
Well, I was singing in a nightclub. I did after I'd come out of Vietnam in early '71, and I used to finish on, I think, in the nightclub. I can't think of the name of it, but it was near the airport. It was a Chinese place, and somebody in the audience will know.
The Nanking.
Nanking. The Nanking. Anybody remember the Nanking? Beautiful restaurant, beautiful, wonderful entertainers too.
Yeah.
Peter Harris and all that.
Oh, yeah.
lot, yeah. So I finished my show with I did it my way, and a guy came over to me and said, "How much would you charge to come?" You see, we just built the Commodore Motel in Perth, and we'd like you to come to Melbourne and sing in our hotels, the chain that we have over there. How much would you charge? So I thought, I've heard this so many times before. So I gave him the most outrageous figure, and he accepted. I was 6 days a week, 6 nights a week, and I could do nightclubs as long as they weren't near the hotels. I could do nightclubs. So I had
So
a
it was
roaring time. Bought a house and
a
everything.
residency. Yeah, it's like what you look for when you're an entertainer is getting steady work, isn't it? You know,
Absolutely.
knowing that you've got a week's wage.
Well, I went over there on a 3-month contract and didn't come back for 26 years. That's the fact. I used to come back for, there was a little Italian man in,
Vince Tudora.
who was it?
La Tenda.
Luigi.
La Tenda.
La Tenda. Remember La Tenda?
Yeah.
So he called and said, would you like to come over for a couple of months? I'll put you up in my hotel. I thought, wow, this is wonderful. So yes, I went over, put me up in the hotel that he sold 3 times. Do you remember that? He sold it at least 3 times. So he put me up, and then what happened was we do 2 weeks in the club, and then he phoned me out to hotels and pubs and clubs, and he would take the money, but he would pay my airfare, accommodation, and quite a bit of money, over $500. In those days, that was a lot of money.
It certainly was, yeah. Eddie, we could talk here all morning.
Yes.
I know. Just before we invite you to sing some of your favourite songs, what does singing mean to you now?
Well, it's my life. It keeps me alive. I'm 92. On Monday, I'm 92. That's not bad, is it? So it does. It literally keeps me alive. See, the love and rapport, the feeling of being loved or liked is phenomenal. I do a lot of nursing homes. They're the loneliest people in the world. So if you're passing one of those places, go in and ask if there's anybody that needs a chat. Because there's a lot of people that are left there on their own. So I won't go there.
Yeah, music is just a great, powerful thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. And you no regrets when you look back on your life and think of all the
Absolutely
shows you've
not.
done and all the audiences you please. So,
No.
and I believe you're going to do it again today. So can we maybe ask you to sing a few songs for us?
Absolutely.
And you will invite a little guest of yours?
I will.
And-
I have a guest here today. She's called Gwenda Urin, and she's 93. So
Today?
yes, today, yes. Well, I don't know where she is, but
Yeah.
there she is over there.
good.
Look, right in that little corner over there.
Yeah. All right then. Well, we'll let you sing a few songs. Thank you so much for the chat. Thank you for coming up from Mandurah as well. And I'll just say, please welcome Eddie Storm.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll keep the chair there just in case. I don't know if this is a better. Yeah, this is not